Welcome, Seeker.
Some say it was written by the God of Wisdom himself, a book so powerful it could unleash the secrets of the universe or destroy the mind of any who dared to read it. Deep within the folds of ancient Egyptian myth lies a legend cloaked in secrecy, feared by priests and sought by mystics, the Book of Thoth. Not a book in the conventional sense, but a metaphysical manuscript, a codex of divine intelligence, a key to the architecture of reality. According to legend, it was inscribed by Thoth, the ibis-headed god of writing, magic, and the moon, a being who, unlike other deities, was not just a symbol of wisdom, but its embodiment. The book was said to contain the words of the gods, spells that could control the heavens, reveal the language of animals, raise the dead, or collapse kingdoms with mere utterance. It was so sacred, so dangerous, that it was hidden for millennia in a secret chamber beneath the Nile, guarded by serpents and sealed with curses. Yet stories of this forbidden tome never truly vanished. From the dusty crypts of ancient Hermetic texts to the cryptic whispers of the Rosicrucians, the Book of Thoth resurfaces not as myth, but as metaphor, a living symbol of cosmic knowledge, buried deep not just in the sands of time, but within our very consciousness. So, the question isn't merely, did the Book of Thoth exist? But rather, what did it really contain? And why was humanity deemed unready to know it? In this video, we'll venture into the arcane heart of this mystery. We'll explore the book's ancient origins, decode its symbolic language, and uncover why some believe it still exists, hidden in plain sight. But beware, once this knowledge is seen, it cannot be unseen. Let's open the first page. To understand the Book of Thoth, we must first walk the golden path backward, through the sands of Egypt, beyond temples and tombs, and into the mythic current of consciousness that shaped the ancient world. Thoth, or Jehudi in the old tongue, was no ordinary deity. He was the divine scribe, the architect of sacred order, credited with the invention of writing, measurement, time, and language itself. But more than this, Thoth symbolized the bridge between worlds, logic and mysticism, science and soul, matter and mind. He presided over the weighing of the heart in the hall of Ma'at, and it is said that without his presence, even the gods themselves could not speak. His was the voice that translated the ineffable into symbols, giving rise to sacred texts, celestial mathematics, and the encoded language of the divine. So what, then, was the Book of Thoth? In ancient lore, it was not simply a scroll, but a living compendium of magical knowledge. Said to contain spells that could grant dominion over the earth and sky, its pages held the structure of the cosmos, the blueprint of the universe itself. The Greek historian Manetho hinted that Thoth wrote 42 sacred books, a number mirroring the 42 nomes, or districts of Egypt, as if suggesting that his wisdom formed the very backbone of civilization. These books, later echoed in the Corpus Hermeticum, formed the foundation of Hermetic philosophy, a mystical tradition that would influence Gnosticism, alchemy, Kabbalah, and Renaissance magic. But one book, the book, was said to be kept hidden, buried beneath the Nile, or stored within a secret chamber in the Temple of Thoth at Hermopolis. According to the tale found in the Demotic text of Setna, a young prince steals the Book of Thoth, only to suffer madness, curses, and tragedy. The message is clear. Those unworthy of true knowledge are consumed by it. But what if this was more than a cautionary tale? What if the Book of Thoth was not lost, but encrypted? Not buried in the earth, but coded into the architecture of myth, the symbols of Terau, the patterns of sacred geometry, and the inner language of the soul? The Hermetic maxim, as above, so below, was said to come from Thoth himself, a principle that describes the fractal, mirrored nature of reality. To read the Book of Thoth, then, might mean learning to see the hidden language behind all things. To read nature as scripture to hear the stars whisper their names, to decode the dream of the universe. This is why so many mystery schools revere Thoth, not as a figure of worship, but as a symbol of awakened intelligence. A guide for initiates brave enough to face the unknown and wise enough to remain silent when needed. Over time, the Book of Thoth has been disguised under many names: emerald tablets, tarot of the Egyptians, even aspects of the Kabbalistic tree of life. Always veiled, always incomplete, as if testing the seeker's resolve. So the mystery persists. Was it ever truly written? Or was it always meant to be discovered within? What if the Book of Thoth was never meant to be opened, but activated? Not through eyes, but through awakened perception, through the refinement of inner vision. Because the book, as whispered through the centuries, is not just a manuscript. It is a living interface between the human mind and the divine order, a mirror that reveals not who you are, but what you are becoming. Let us begin with one of its most enigmatic echoes, the tarot. Many historians believe the tarot originated in medieval Europe, but within the esoteric traditions, from the Hermetic order of the Golden Dawn to the teachings of Antoine Court de Gebelin, it is said the tarot is a fragment of the Book of Thoth, encoded and preserved in symbolic form, not for fortune-telling, but for initiation. Each card is a glyph, each suit a force of nature, each archetype a step in the eternal unfolding of consciousness. The 22 major arcana, from the Fool to the World, mirror the journey of the soul from ignorance to gnosis. These are not passive symbols. They are activated blueprints of the psyche, drawing from astrology, alchemy, Kabbalah, and ancient Egyptian cosmology. The High Priestess, a gatekeeper of inner realms. The Hermit, a beacon of truth in a world asleep. Death, not an end, but a sacred transformation. To read the tarot as Thoth intended is to read the structure of your own evolution. It is the book in motion, reshaping your mind as you engage with it. But the tarot is only one page. Another page whispers through the emerald tablets, attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, the Greco-Egyptian fusion of Thoth. These tablets do not speak of rituals and gods, but of vibrations, correspondences, mentalism, and polarity, laws not of Egypt, but of existence itself. All is mind. The universe is mental. This is not metaphor. It is metaphysics, a glimpse into the creative engine behind all form. These Hermetic truths, said to be distilled from Thoth's original teachings, speak of planes of being, the rhythm of cycles, the illusion of separation, and the hidden unity beneath apparent chaos. What emerges is a vision of reality as a vast, multidimensional system, one that can be navigated only by those who understand its rules. And here lies the true key to the Book of Thoth. It is not read with the intellect, it is embodied. Like a sacred dance or an alchemical operation, its knowledge reshapes you the moment you engage with it sincerely, but not without risk. Because to read such a book is to see through the veil, to realize that the world as we know, it is not solid, not final, but symbolic, a projection of inner forces and hidden harmonies. This realization can be liberating or destabilizing, depending on the strength of the seeker. This is why the Book of Thoth is surrounded by so many warnings and legend. Those unprepared are driven mad, not because the knowledge is evil, but because it demands a new identity, a shedding of ego, a realignment with cosmic truth. To encounter this book is to be reborn in flame, the old paradigms burned away, leaving only essence. And in that void, something extraordinary happens. The seeker no longer reads the book. They become the book, a living glyph of divine intelligence in human form. If this journey stirs something in you, make sure to subscribe to Labyrinth of the Veil as we continue decoding ancient truths in a modern age. So far, we've explored the tarot, the emerald tablets, and the idea that the Book of Thoth isn't merely a physical text, but a multidimensional initiatory process. But now, we turn to the deeper currents, the hidden layers of the myth that reveal why this book remains such a guarded secret across time. Let's begin with the most cryptic question. Who really wrote the Book of Thoth? Tradition tells us it was penned by the god Thoth, the ibis-headed scribe of the gods, patron of wisdom, time, writing, and the moon. But those who've studied the Hermetic stream know Thoth is more than a deity of ancient Egypt. He is a symbol for something far more elusive, a force present across all ages. The Greeks called him Hermes Trismegistus, thrice great, the master of alchemy, astrology, and theurgy. The Gnostics viewed him as a divine messenger, a psychopomp, guiding souls through the veil of death and illusion. In esoteric Kabbalah, he aligns with Mercury, the cosmic messenger, the connector of worlds. But what if Thoth is not a being at all, but a state of consciousness? A mode of perception where opposites unite, logic and intuition, heaven and earth, spirit and matter. A state in which reality becomes readable, like a coded manuscript. This is where the book's teachings become dangerous. Because once this state is touched, even briefly, the soul awakens to a haunting truth. We are the authors and the readers of the book simultaneously. Each thought is a line, each choice a glyph, each experience a paragraph in the unfolding manuscript of our soul. This is why, in Egyptian lore, the book was hidden beneath the Nile, sealed with serpents and cursed with madness for those unworthy. Not because the knowledge was evil, but because it was too real, too close to the core of who we are beneath the illusion. Let's now examine a lesser-known aspect, the structure of the book. Esoteric lore tells of 78 plates, aligning with the 78 cards of the full tarot deck. But others claim it was written in Atlantean glyphs, a lost language that conveyed not just meaning, but vibration. To read a sentence was to be transformed by its frequency. Some mystics say the book was not made of paper or papyrus, but of light and sound, geometric resonances encoded within higher dimensions, not seen, but felt. This idea is echoed in Hermetic alchemy, where sacred texts were often sealed in symbolic language, obscured from the uninitiated. The emerald tablet itself is less than a page long, and yet it has spawned centuries of debate. That which is below corresponds to that which is above, and that which is above corresponds to that which is below, to accomplish the miracle of the one thing. This is not just poetry, it is a formula, a cosmic algorithm that describes how consciousness can reshape reality if properly understood. Even modern science, unknowingly, is beginning to dance around these truths. The quantum observer effect, holographic theory, string vibrations, whispers of a deeper architecture that sages have known for millennia. But here's the twist. The Book of Thoth does not reveal the secrets of the cosmos. It reveals you as the secret itself. You, the seeker, are the microcosm. Your breath mirrors the tides. Your mind reflects the stars. The book merely points you inward until you realize that no divine being is coming to initiate you. That power has always rested in your hands. And when you finally see this, not intellectually, but viscerally, the book no longer feels distant or mythical. It is you. It always was. A sacred geometry of choices and awakenings, wrapped in flesh and time, awaiting its own discovery. You might be wondering, what can I actually do with this knowledge? It's a valid question. Esoteric wisdom, while beautiful and mysterious, must eventually root itself in lived experience to become real. Otherwise, it remains just another fascinating myth, locked in the mind, never touching the soul. But the Book of Thoth was never meant to stay locked. It's a living transmission, and there are ways to tune into its frequency. Let's begin with dream work. Thoth, as the guardian of sacred knowledge, often communicates through symbols, especially in altered states. In ancient Egypt, Temples of initiation used dream chambers. The aspirant would lie in silence for days, fasting, meditating, until visions would come. You can replicate this in your own life. Before sleep, set the intention. Tonight, I open my inner vision to the wisdom of Thoth. Show me what I am ready to see. Keep a dream journal beside your bed. Upon waking, write everything, symbols, words, feelings. The book may not speak in language, but in metaphor. Now let's speak of the tarot, one of the most accessible pages of the book. Don't just use tarot for prediction. That's a distraction. Use it as a mirror. Shuffle the deck while holding a question in your heart, not in your mind. Let your subconscious guide the process. When a card appears, don't rush to the guidebook. Gaze at the image. Ask, what part of me is this revealing? What archetype is seeking expression in my life? This isn't divination. It's communication. You are conversing with your higher self through ancient language. Next, sacred writing, a ritual of decoding your own inner book. Create a quiet space. Light a candle if you wish. Open a journal and write this prompt. If I could remember what my soul came here to do, what would it be? Then let the pen move. Don't judge. Don't filter. This is not ordinary journaling. This is transcription. You are channeling your deeper self, or as some would say, the voice of Thoth within. You may be surprised what comes through. Another powerful tool, sigil magic. Thoth is the master of glyphs and geometry. In his honor, try this. Write a short sentence stating your intention. Remove the repeating letters. Rearrange the remaining ones into a unique symbol. Draw it with focus. Charge it with emotion. Then burn it, bury it, or meditate on it. This is not superstition. It is psychology encoded in ritual. You are speaking the language of the unconscious, and the Book of Thoth is written precisely in that tongue. Finally, understand this. Initiation is not an event. It is a process. You don't read the Book of Thoth once and become enlightened. You live it. Every challenge is a test. Every insight, a chapter. Every awakening, a turning page. And when you begin to walk through life with that awareness, when your thoughts become more deliberate, your dreams more vivid, your intuition sharper, you'll know you've begun to align with the current of the book. Not the myth, not the manuscript, but the mystery. The mystery that you are the scribe and the seeker, the reader and the riddle, the question and the answer, bound together in a spiral of eternal remembering. Have you ever felt like some ancient part of you already knows these truths? Like you're remembering, not learning? If that resonates with you, share your story in the comments. And if this journey speaks to your soul, don't forget to subscribe to Labyrinth of the Veil, where the forgotten is remembered one secret at a time. They say the Book of Thoth was hidden to protect it from the unworthy. But maybe it was hidden so we would seek it within. Maybe the true danger was never the knowledge itself, but how easily it could be dismissed, distorted, or forgotten in a world that fears the power of awakened minds. Because this is not just a story about an ancient book. 'Tis a story about you. You, the seeker walking the razor's edge between reason and revelation. You, the initiate learning to read the hidden script written in dreams, synchronicities, and sacred silence. You, the living continuation of a wisdom tradition that never died. It just changed its disguise. The Book of Thoth is not a relic. It is a mirror, a key, a challenge. It dares you to look beyond what's visible, to speak what cannot be spoken, to remember what you were always meant to know. And in a world that constantly pulls your attention outward, toward noise, distraction, and division, this book whispers the opposite. Turn inward. Decode your dreams. Listen to the silence. Reclaim your power. So ask yourself, honestly, what if you've been carrying this book all along? In your instincts, your visions, Your forgotten childhood dreams. What if every moment of déjà vu, every strange pull toward ancient symbols, every flash of inexplicable knowing was the book calling you back? Calling you to remember, not as a follower, but as a guardian, not as a reader, but as an author of the next chapter. And so, the question remains, will you open the book, or will you let it gather dust in the corners of your consciousness? If this message stirred something ancient within you, if it made you feel less alone in your search, then like, comment, and subscribe to Labyrinth of the Veil. We walk this path together, not to escape reality, but to reveal the layers beneath it. The veil is thin. The time is now, and your story has just begun.